G'day, Greg Clark from CPX. Well, having recently heard author and Professor of European Thought John Gray at the Sydney Writers' Festival, I understand why he's being touted as one of the leading intellectuals of our time. Professor Gray writes the kind of sharp, masterful and funny cultural history that really appeals to me. His latest book has the excellent title Black Mass, Apocalyptic Religion and the Death of Utopia. And in it he explores what he sees as one of the most dangerous ideas of this or any age. The idea that humanity is progressing towards a magnificent future. That we're on our way to becoming greater than we currently are, and that we just need to rid the world of certain things to get there. Well, Gray links most of Western thinking about progress back to the Christian teaching that the old world was about to come to an end in an act of God's judgment, often referred to as the apocalypse, although this is a bit of a misuse of the term. A new world would then begin and there'd be a new heavens and a new earth. Well, this, says Gray, is at the heart of all attempts to generate utopia. A whole list of millenarian movements can be rolled out to justify this claim, from militant medieval Islam to ancient cargo cults to the Jim Jones disaster of recent years. But what interests me is that Gray sees that secular movements also use this language of apocalypse and utopia. Marx, Lenin and the Nazis all had their secularized versions of this story, that the world could be perfected if only we could rid humanity of some of its illnesses, like certain races or certain classes or certain attitudes. Even the new atheists, Christopher Hitchens and Richard Dawkins, use this same kind of view of humanity's progress. If only we could rid the world of religion's poison in humanity's veins, then we'd all be better off. Bush's America is also cited by John Gray as an instance of politicised utopianism, where the concept of spreading freedom and democracy at almost any cost has sometimes been linked to a version of Christian eschatology known as premillennialism. America as the Redeemer nation that will save the world. Well, Gray wants to suggest that a truer way to understand history is just that it ebbs and it flows. It doesn't really progress. We might see progress in knowledge, for instance, we learn to cure certain diseases, but humanity itself stays the same. As a Christian, I actually have a lot of time for this view. The Christian faith does not in fact teach that we'll be able to bring about heaven on earth, or at least not on our own. Nor does it teach that the human race will get better and better, or that all of history is headed towards one great meaningful climax. Christians have sometimes suggested this, but a careful reading of the Bible's view of the future doesn't support this view. Rather, the key Christian teaching is that if things are going to improve, God will have to do the improving. Human beings will remain a mixture of the best and the worst, the lowest animal instincts and the highest spiritual dreams and aspirations. But the Christian view of the future requires God to intervene in the process, which is why there's so much interest among Christians in the teaching that God came into the world in the person of Jesus, and furthermore that Jesus will have a parousia, an appearance or an arrival. We need an interventionist God, or we have no reason for optimism. Without that God, there's little hope for the human race, and certainly no grand vision for a wonderful future. Without that hope, I'm on board with John Gray's view that grand visions are a recipe for violence and suffering, not for love and mercy and justice. But with the belief that Jesus will in fact be revealed as what Christians call Lord, comes a whole new hope that is not dependent on human improvement. That's a hope I'm willing to get behind.